One, it is Monday. I do believe the last Monday of this year. No, of this month. Maybe I've already seen the future. No, I haven't. I haven't seen it. I think there's many more Mondays to come. So, hello, everyone. How are you all? Gee, hello, Mad Hatter. By the way, we're going to have Mad Hatter on the show here pretty soon. Fairly remarkable individual. And speaking of having first time new guest on tomorrow, Patrick Garrett, who we all see here in the chat rooms, he will be on with me on tomorrow's show. And I'm actually titling this show, hey, Jaguar Spirit, hello. Awakened Being, Peace, Val, how are you doing? So I'm calling it Talking with the Planets. And hey, Brian, how you doing? Lori, Catherine O'Hare, how are you doing? Steve, Hypnotherapy Pixie, cool. Alfred, how are you doing? Dante, good to see you. Debbie, good to see you. So, if you haven't gone over on his channel, check it out. He really took the initiative to go out there and begin to talk to the planets. And I happen to think that, hey, they've been around apparently longer than we have. And, you know, if the Earth wasn't alive, we wouldn't be alive. So that kind of makes the argument null and void. We need to start talking to the planets. And I was thinking today, well, why wouldn't we be talking to the sun? Now it gets really into a paradox because, hey, why aren't we talking to the sun? S-U-N, not S-O-N. And it really gets weird. If you go back and look at some of my earlier work, Breaking the God Spell and the Bloodline Invader series, you're going to see that sun worship is for a reason. And folks, we think that we're such smarty pants. We think that hello there, warrior princess, that we got it figured out because, hey, you know, we got the technology. Well, I don't know about that. I think so often, you know, when you rely on something else besides yourself, you become much weaker. Think about that. When you rely on something, someone else besides yourself, you are weaker. So, you know, interesting. Why aren't we talking to the sun? Because I contend, folks, we're in a time unlike, how could someone else put a thumbs down? I just now looked down at that. You know, listen, do us all a favor, take your bad energy and leave. You know, I didn't invite you here. So if you didn't like it, keep your opinion. And you believe that? Anyway, this goes to show you some people are just miserable. And in fact, vast majority of the population is just flat out miserable. They have no joy. And since they have no joy, all they know to do is try to inflict pain and misery and negative energy on others. And, you know, us folks that we got the vibe going, you know, it's like, wait a minute. You know, you're walking into a darkened stadium and every one of those darkened energies can see you. And I go, hey, look. So, yeah, check this out, folks. 2 events have taken place that I think are clear indicators of us being able to have the ability to sit here now on November 26, 12:04 p.m. my time, 2018. I believe we can see into the future and not only see it, But, well, I think it's like anything else. You go into a theater to see a movie, you want to make sure you got everything. And nowadays with the seats they got, listen, I remember back in the time that going to the theater sometime was like going into a church pew. The seats were not designed for the rear, but today, I mean, wow. I mean, it's like having your own lazy boy, Barca lounger, all in one. So make sure you got the popcorn and everything else, because I think it's about to get really very interesting. I can't say bad. I mean, what do I measure that against? I don't have anything to measure it against. But I do know this. As you can see, the sign behind me, on November 11th, 2018, the earth shook. Yep. It experienced worldwide what they call, and as you can see, I actually wrote it down here, what they call a vertical compound wave. This vertical, it's a seismic wave, folks, by the way, was registered around the world. Remarkable. We're going to be talking about that tonight with Claudia, Dr. Albers. First time we've recorded something like this. What happened? Then we have the event that I've gotten over 100 emails from around the world from people missing time on 11, which would have been 11:15. In between that period, something happened, folks. And I'm not just, I mean, everything is a hypothesis until it actually happens. And then you go back, that was a fact. You can say, yeah, that event actually did happen. But nevertheless, worldwide, if the earth is about to give birth, I would say, folks, that is a clear indicator something is happening. As they would be saying, it's getting real in here. So how do we begin to process this? I don't know. I keep telling you, the reason why we are seeing the influx of spirits coming in, I don't know if they're souls. I mean, I think that we all can agree spirits, man, they're rushing in. I think that I was meditating on this and it came to me, there are those events that happen in an individual's life, your birthday, your death day. And then you have those special events that define your existence in your life while you were here. Then you have community events that are remembered, memorialized, traditionalized, countries, nations, ethnic groups, religious groups. And all of that is contained on this blue ball out in the middle of nowhere. And we don't even know where nowhere is, because we don't even know where is first. We know that nowhere is defined as somewhere that we have no idea where, but nevertheless, we are nowhere. And then you have events that, let's say, are planetary events. Asteroid hits a planet. A comet disintegrates and hits a planet. All these things have happened. Those would be what? A solar system event. We have the sun that's acting strange. we're going to look at some stories, and folks, a lot of people have a hard time accepting, that the fact the sun is going dark, but we'll get into that. And then I think, and this is just me, that there are galactic events. Now, are we coming into something that would be rated as high as a galactic event? I don't know. Seems like our planet's been hit before. It seems like our species have been nearly driven to extinction. The new theory is according to two anthropologists, and again, you have to take every, I like how everyone gets so wrapped. See, people are so anxious to find something that validates their beliefs. And so when something comes out initially that, supports their hypothesis, they're the first one to always say, well, this is our banner of proof, when it's a hypothesis right now. Both those scientists say in there is that it's a theory. They have found what we would call circumstantial evidence. Again, dating something is very difficult. And the reason why it's very difficult when you're dealing with organic matter, such as DNA, mitochondrial DNA, and this is where this came from. It's the Human Genome 2 project, where we're now studying and mapping the mitochondrial DNA, which is the feminine part of the DNA structure. But here's the point. The reason why it's so difficult to nail something down is that when you're using carbon-14 dating, that dating process is highly susceptible to error when there is radiation, nuclear radiation, that type of radiation, something that's generated by an atom, by an explosion that generates radiation. And anthropologists know this. There's a layer. In fact, they think there's a couple of layers of radioactive decay matter. And it goes back in the most recent time, less than the last 200,000 years. As Jeff and I were talking yesterday on our show, when you look at glassification and you begin to look at it and study it as I have, you begin to see that from an anthropology position, even a geologist's point of view, we don't know why we find regions around the world that have glassification, evidence of extreme heat, nuclear. And so getting back to my original point, the reason why I'm always somewhat suspect when I see these dates, 100, and remember, they gave themselves a very wide berth. I mean, come on, folks. It's like you going out and saying, well, flipping a coin. I mean, if you're saying something between 200 and 100,000 years ago, okay, I mean, I'll take that margin. I'll take that spread, as they would say in Vegas. But nevertheless, it still indicates that something happened. A global Earth life event, distinction event, took place. We see that evidence of the archaeological digs there in Göbekli Tepe. They knew us. They saw the comet coming in. They knew it was coming. We're going to see a story that a viewer sent me on the archaeological dig in Kuwait. evidence of a temple dating nearly 7,500 years ago. So, see, the problem is, folks, and this is why we're dealing with these shifts in perception of reality, is that most of us here in the Western world, and to a great extent Europe and other places, we were indoctrinated with this duality of knowledge. We're taught in our schools what it's in flavor of the year, and hopefully, you're bringing in facts. Now with the internet, we don't have to worry about that. We have the Oracle. Yeah. Isn't it odd how things repeat? So we have, the great Oracle Diana. Anyway, we call it Google. Anyway, and then you have this counter that says, well, we look at the Bible as our true history dates. Well, see, this is screwed up because, how many of you, come on, be honest, at one point in your life, those who were well indoctrinated into the religious mythology of the modern era, you really thought that this earth was 6,000 years old? And listen, I know I still get people writing me. And, you just, what do you do? Because now we're finding that that book is not an historical document. It's literally are you ready? It is not historical. It is literature. That's all it is. It's a story, a make-believe story. But a lot of people can't handle that. Well, that's cool. Listen, I was there. And, you got to have empathy. So, hey, Brad, you bring up a good point, not to digress, but, the nature of our species is that we are a warrior species. We're a killing species. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but if you're truly becoming awake, you've got to face the reality. Homo sapiens sapiens are a warrior race, species of humanids. I know, sucks, doesn't it? But let's get back to the subject at hand. Blazing River propaganda. Sarah Kay, I bet you were. I'd like to have seen that. Matt Hatter is going to come on. He's a dude that code, and everything is in code. Listen, I come from the technology industry. I was one of those crazy, wild entrepreneurs back in the 90s where we were defining the internet. Can you imagine? When I got involved with my company, there wasn't e-commerce. Didn't exist. I remember I went to the first Mindshare conference up here in Beaver Creek, Colorado. And we were discussing for literally 3 days what was e-commerce? How do we define it? How is it modeled? And here we are 2 decades later, and look what everything is in code, folks. Everything. All right, so let's get to looking into the future. We're going to reflect on the future. So those of you who can remember, there was a show called Laugh-In, Rowan and Martin, and they had their satirical look of their newsroom, and they had a section of the future, 20 years from today. And of course, that was back in 1968, 69. So we have well advanced that. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to share something with you. Allow me to pull this up for you. You see this? We're going to look at a story. This, folks, is the end of us. This story, and it's true, is in fact a defining moment in our species' history. And the progenitors of what we can now see into the future, I don't think I'm going to want to be here. It's going to be very candid with you. So what am I talking about? All right, let me get out of here and there we go. And allow me to pull up for you what this story is about. I think it's this one. Give me a second here, folks. I need to do one thing. Thank you. Yeah, I'm driving the bus and looking backwards at the same time. Yeah, it's a great trick. You ought to try it. Not? Okay, I got it going now. So, you just saw this picture here. Well, this picture is associated, well, allow me. Now I'm going to have to go back and find that confluent. Give me 1 second, folks. I'll get it back up here real quick. So I had it up there to begin with, and lo and behold, what did I do? There we go. Okay, so let's get back to the show already in progress. It's funny, I can actually time travel because there's a 30-second delay between what I'm seeing and what you're seeing. So in essence, I am an interdimensional time traveler. I'm a traveler of both time and space. All right, MIT Technology Review. Exclusive. Chinese scientists are creating CRISPR babies. Folks, it's all over. This is a defining point. This is what the Nazis were looking for. This is something now that no turning back. You can put this on your calendar. Those of you who are in your 30s, your 40s, don't know what your world's going to look like when you get 25, 30 years down the road. I'll probably still be here if we all are here. I don't know, because this is, folks, you don't many of you do. So now they have literally made a human life. They're using gene editing tools. It's called CRISPR, which is, as the article says, is cheap and easy to deploy, that made the birth of humans genetically modified in an in vitro fertilization center a theoretical possibility. Now it appears it may already be happening. I weep for our species. I do. You should as well. This, as I said, Homo sapiens sapiens, we have now become God. If we define God as being able to create life out of nothing, we have achieved that status. Welcome, man. So where do we go from here? I can't see what's going on in the chat room. I don't know what's going on in the chat room because it doesn't matter. To those of you who are watching this, this is a game changer. You know, forget all the UFO, the Anunnaki, the insectoids, all of that. Throw it out. It's meaningless from this point forward. The implications of this are not only frightening, it's beyond imagination what can now take place and will be taking place. You're talking modifying the very genetic structure of what makes us who we are. And now we're rearranging the deck. You can read the story yourself. But folks, no matter what they say, how it can begin to alter us, to immune us to disease, cancers, genetic, the problem that we have as a species, our genetic code by design is designed to fail. Now, theoretically, there's no reason why we shouldn't live forever. These bodies are capable of doing that. But it's been the genetic code that's been altered. We've known that. We've known that for decades. And pushes have gone through the technology aspect, through the humanization aspect, transhumanization, integrating bio with machine. What you could really put this on par with would be the X-Men, the mutants. This is what we're talking about. Mutations will be among us, but they won't be us. They'll be related, but they won't be us. They'll be superior to us in every possible definition. Damn scary, isn't it? Should be. Because you see, I'm going to put myself for you today as your guide to give you your own prophetic insight. You don't need another. You got it yourself. We're going to show it. I'm going to show you because it's here. This, I don't know. Man has never proven to be trustworthy. Never. Because this is what I think we're going to begin to see. Again, China. They're building an AI Atlantis. And folks, where they're building this wasn't the fact that this is going to be a base with no human beings. Robots with all artificial intelligence running all systems. But what really got me was where they're putting this. You know, when you start looking at some of these trenches, these are deep, deep rifts. Something? I don't know. Why do you want it to where no human being can actually work in? Folks, this is not good. How about this one? China to judge every resident in Beijing based on behavior by the end of 2020. 2 years away, folks. 25 months. And folks, every world government is looking at the same thing. This is getting weird, folks. Now, we're going to be talking about this tonight. We'll be getting back to this. Folks, this event that happened on 11/11, I do believe it is a progenitor of things to come. Here you go. This is, again, work with me on this. Stay with me. I'm weaving something here for you. Robots are killing people. Today I read in the Wall Street Journal what GM is doing, cutting their white-collar force by 15%. Wait a minute, I thought we were in a booming economy. I thought that this was unprecedented growth. You're talking layoffs now? But here is the thing, and mark my words, I am predicting to you in less than 3 years, Amazon will be completely become automated with robotics. All automatons, all the robots. These great jobs that they're promising in their factories, their warehouses, excuse me. Well, some people say it's worse than factory. I don't know. I've never seen it. But I can tell you, it's going to happen. We are seeing the revolution right now. It's not, sweetheart, 5-10 years down the road. You know, I have a good track record as a visionary. I'm telling you, it's happening now. The day the world embraced AI. This is a fantastic article. It will wake you up, darling, to more questions. I continue. So here we have this whole thing, the mysterious extinction event that preceded Adam and Eve. Well, Adam and Eve is a metaphor. It wasn't actual Adam and Eve. God, I couldn't believe some of the stuff I was reading yesterday. Anyway, but the thing that I find curious about this is that it has about the same date. They're saying 100 to 200,000. But if I'm going to take those type of spread, then I'm going to take the spread on the more conservative side and say, how about between 70,000, 100,000 to 70,000 years ago? Yeah. Now we got a lot of questions. What the hell happened? You can't help but not draw a conclusion. That had to be ET help. Anthropology teaches us that Homo sapiens, when they first appeared, the command of English language. Now, we don't know if it was spread amongst the other 7 or so species of man that were here. Hard to say who got the first bite at the apple, so to speak. But it clearly shows, and now we know genetically someone screwed with us. Someone deliberately put in us, folks, this thing that ages us. It was deliberately done. And now, your genes right now, hold your hand up, sweetheart, in front of you, because it's degenerating as you look at it. The ability for your body to continue to renew every protein enzyme has been altered. Yeah. Folks, when you start seeing articles like this, wake up. This is called conditioning. Dimming the sun, the answer to global warming? Well, we know that now the dire prediction UN that you made, and I would debate any representative of any UN agency on global climate change to come on this channel and show me your evidence, and I will show you mine using the same instruments. They won't. Because we know they're a fraud. They cook the books, baby. But get this, dimming the sun, the answer to global warming. Yeah. Great website. Recommend that you keep this on here. The cosmic rays, baby, that's the ones hurting us. All you younger guys, your sack's down between your leg. Your little guys are dying faster than you can replace them. Sucks, doesn't it? And hey, ladies, those egg sacs that you've got hanging in there, they ain't faring much better either. Only going to get worse. Technology would be the death of civilization as humanity self-destructs. No kidding. Folks, how much more do you think the psychic consciousness can hold? Now, they tell us that the year 536 was the worst year. Folks, did you know that in the year 536 started off with a mysterious fog that swept over the continent of Europe, veiling the sun in a blue haze and casting Europe, the Middle East, and parts of Asia into darkness 24 hours a day for 18 months? Did you know that? Anyone want to speculate? I mean, it apparently got pretty bad in all fronts. Yeah. I mean, you think just by the one disease of the bubonic plague, killing 100 million people in 1 year. Oh, explain to me how you have, and where was this not reported? My study of early European history never included this. We're going to talk about this with Dr. Albers. 24 hours a day for 18 months. Falling temperatures ushered in the coldest decade of the past 2,000 years. Crops failed from Ireland to China, and famine ran rampant. Those who endured the long, cold night faced even harsher times in the years to come in AD 541 with the outbreak of the bubonic plague. And it gets worse from there. It's amazing. Sometimes some people ought not be so quick to comment until they learn. Pop quiz. Social media, making you happier or more miserable? Set your answers below. Now, folks, there's something going on here. This ain't good. Whatever this is, I started following this story at the beginning of this year. Actually, it first emerged last year. And it just keeps getting worse. Many of you that are below 50, 45, you never knew a time when polio was around. I do. My cousin contracted polio. She was in an iron lung machine, had her back in a hard cast brace. Something's happening and they don't know what this is, and it's resistant to everything they have thus thrown at it. Now, this is just a fact, folks. We're seeing a major, major shift in what they call the wet patterns, which is a sign that something's happening to the planet. We're having, let me tell you, if this continues, you're going to have Saudi Arabia become one of the most richest agriculture producing places on the planet. If this continues, the desert will literally be turned, which geologically would be in a blinking of an eye, from desolation to abundant vegetation, happening right before us. International Space Station is infested with mysterious and potentially dangerous space bugs. Folks, this is not funny. This is the worst case scenario. You're talking life forms that did not generate here. And if author ever gets loose down here, any microbiologist would tell you it's the doomsday scenario. If author gets loose down here, kiss your ass goodbye, folks. This is serious stuff. You see that? That could wipe us out, literally, and could do so in less than a year. Here's this one right here. It's this the temple in Kuwait. There it is. And apparently, from what they're saying, it was quite the provincial place. But again, we're pushing the time further and further back. How about this, kids? Google reveals plans to monitor our moods, our movements, and our children's behavior at home. Why? One simple question, why? I mean, haven't we lived for 100,000 plus, maybe 1,000,000 years without Big Brother? This is what it is. This is totalitarianism. Anyone at Google want to come in and debate me where this is not totalitarianism? What the hell do you have any need to know about what anyone does in their home, in their bedroom, their sexual appetites, desires, how they address their children? Who is the one monitoring and getting the data, folks? You need to be aware. If you got these machines in your home, I just got to ask you, what the hell are you thinking? The problem is, though, folks, coming to Home Depot, Lowe's, in the next generation, next year, you're going to have integrated AI already into the smoke detectors. It'll have Alexa or one of the others there. Why? This is a prison, folks. I'm giving you the future. We're reflecting on the future right now. It's a prison. Even your cars will no longer be under your will. They're taking it away. We don't have enough time on this one. We'll get to this later, probably when we have Patrick on. But anyway, folks, there's your reflections on the future. It's sad. I don't know what to say. Good friend Jeff Doherty, the ultimate optimist. And I appreciate people like that. They keep us in balance, at least for myself. Because I try to look at this and I'm trying to find the upside to it. The only thing I can say is that this is a warning to all of us. We need to get our houses in order. I'm just telling you. Not fear-mongering, not doing anything. Common sense, folks. Pure, simple, common sense. Nothing more. I mean, the signs are all around us. You can do with them as you want. You can interpret it ever how you want. I mean, that's your prerogative. But I think while I'm here and have the opportunity, what I'm going to do is just continue the journey. We're going to have fun. We're going to learn. It might be unsettling. Some of it, we're going to say, all right, fine. We'll continue to speculate, pontificate, calculate our ideas. We're going to have more and more of you on the show. This is an opportunity. I think Sun Rabbit is one I want to reach out to. We're just going to continue just to grow. We're going to speak favor in each other's lives. We're not going to be critics. Although I have to say, sometimes I think there's some people out there that my whole mission in life is allow them to bust my balls. I don't know. But, we're just going to continue to grow together. A wheel is not strong within one strand, one spoke. A wheel becomes more diversified and much more stronger when it has many spokes tied to the same hub. And I think that's what this is. This is just one spoke to the hub. And I do my best to make it entertaining and informative. Somewhat controversial, but only on a limited basis. Yes, I did, Nicole. That's exactly what I said. Yes. Randolph Steiner, yeah. How about that? Yeah. Kashara, you're absolutely right. Hey, Claudette, how are you doing? You're absolutely right. We can only control that which we can speak. And yeah. It's. I tell you, I'll share something with you. So yesterday, I had a potentially something that could have been really seriously bad. I fell, tripped on a cord, and broke a toe on my right foot. Severely sprained my left ankle, broke the top of the bone on the foot. Put a tennis-size knot on my elbow and bruised my collarbone. And it could have been a lot worse. Something broke the fall, because if I'd gone all the way down the way it was heading, it would have been much worse. But so, yeah. Well, thank you, Franny. Good to see you, by the way. Franny, she's really in. Yeah, you're all right. So, hello, Claudette. There's two Claudettes. How are you? So, yeah, I mean, hurt like a, yeah. In fact, I was on the couch last night, and my wife is a nurse. What a bonus. I mean, I had no idea that when I met her that was part of the package. But anyway, so she's wrapping my ankle, and I'm sitting there on the couch, and I start laughing, and she says, "Why are you laughing?" She says, "I know you're in pain." I said, "That's just the problem." I said, "The broken bone in my right foot hurts." I said, "Whatever the sprain that sprained the ligaments in the left foot, that really hurts. The elbow, that really hurts. And the collarbone." And I said, "I'm sitting here trying to determine, well, which one hurts the most and which one should I concentrate on?" And the next thing I do, I started laughing and started abating the pain. So there you go. You see, folks, laughter can, in fact, be a great pain reducer. So, yeah, watch that. You see, and that was my fault. Accidents typically are your fault, or if you're at the end of the fault of someone else. But that one there, yeah, I tripped, but something did help me to break the fall of that. So anyway, folks, I will see you tonight with Dr. Albers. We're going to be talking about the earthquake. So let me just invoke a favor on all of you. I just want to invoke favor on your lives, and let there be nothing missing, nothing broken found in your lives. And I mean that. We've got to start speaking these words of edification into each other's lives. Because, when the stuff starts getting even more stranger, like, really? Stranger? It's those words of edification that really becomes your power supply. So, you come here, it's safe. It's a good place. You can have fun. The people in here are just great. I mean, I see most of these people I've known for a while now. Many of you have been following me for a couple of years now. I told you it's going to be fun. But yeah, so we're growing. And, I appreciate every one of you. Each one of you are a special gift to this planet. You've got something to offer. You wouldn't be here if there wasn't a purpose for it. And we're not going to allow the system to steal from us anymore. They're not going to steal our joy. They're not going to steal what we've worked so hard to endeavor to become a different person. And sometimes when you're swimming against a stream, you get tired. So we're going to learn to do the geese formation. We're going to fly in the V. So, the guy that's at the front, he eventually gets to go to the back and ride the current. So no matter where you are, we got a place for you. All right, folks. I appreciate all of you. You're just so great. Yeah, Blazing River. Yep, back in the days with WSO, Steve Olson over there. Yep, absolutely. And you're right, Brad. We do not consent. I'll just share this kind of closing because it needs to be said. I've had a number of people from around the world write when I made this bold proclamation that I no longer serve any of the world gods. There's no contract between me and them, that I reject them. I acknowledge them, but they have no part of me and I have no part of them. And emails from around the world started coming in. And people said, I want to make that same declaration. And, we got people like Sovereign Key. There's others. There's now others that are doing that are making these bold proclamations of their divinity, their sovereignty. So that's what we're going to do. We got to go somewhere, right? Yeah. We all know what it's like when you get the left foot of fellowship. The one where they're handing your hat as you're walking out the door. All right, good people. I appreciate you. You bring so much joy into my life, and I hope I do the same back into yours. See you tonight with Dr. Albers, and tomorrow, noon, we're going to do the show. Listen, this is going to be fun, folks. I don't know what to expect, but I think Talking with the Planets is going to be the title of this. And I really appreciated what Patrick did. Was very impressed with that. And we'll bring others on. And let's start seeing if we can get this group here, all you empaths, all those that have the ability for the cards. Let's start reaching out to the planets. Let's go back and see how they did it. Let's see what they have to say. What Patrick did on his, it was spot on. I was very sad to hear that Mars has accepted its fate. But anyway, go there and check it out. He'll be on tomorrow, I believe. You're going to really enjoy it. Folks, be good to yourself. I just appreciate all of you. I was just stopping and thinking, if I could, I'd love to shake every one of your hands and just give you a big hug. But hey, do it for yourself, and we'll just move on from there. All right, folks, I'll see you later tonight. All right, bye-bye.